So something is happening right now that must be stopped. Americans are suffering like never before, and it's because things keep changing. Now, I can tell you what's going on. We have heat waves, we have wildfires, and we have flash floods. And honestly, nobody's prepared for any of this stuff. However, that's not what is the worst thing that's happening. The worst thing that's happening right now is something called government overreach. Now, this is something that must be stopped before it gets out of hand. Now, you may have heard of a story of what's actually happening and what has actually happened just this past week. And first, I want to take you back to a few months ago when I warned you that this could happen. Not that it would, but it could happen. Now, the thing that I'm referring to is this story where Xcel Energy out of, I think, Minnesota, they actually locked out 22,000 customers, locked out 22,000 thermostats while temperatures outside were over 90 degrees. Now, why did they do this? Well, it's actually pretty simple. These customers said they could. Now, you're probably thinking, why in the world would a customer say it's okay for the energy company to lock them out of their own thermostat? And just keep this in mind, it was a smart thermostat. But how in the world could this ever happen? Well, this is exactly what I warned you guys on a few months back, because there's programs out there, and in the state of Colorado, and multiple states have them, but in the state of Colorado and for Xcel Energy, they have a program that allows energy customers to get a discount each year in exchange for the right for the energy company in an event of an emergency to come in and control your thermostat. Again, it has to be a smart thermostat. For example, Nest or Google has some, right? So in exchange for a $100 energy credit, okay, this is a credit, when the customer first signs up, and then $25 a year, the energy company can come in and adjust the customer's ACs, lock them out at 78, 79 degrees, and they have no say. Just because they're hot, no big deal. Or if it starts to get very, very cold in your home, because this can happen both ways. If the energy company decides, you know what, we are seeing that there's too much energy usage at these times of the day, and it's causing a potential, rolling blackout, they could potentially say, you know what, we are not going to let you turn your thermostat up to keep your house at 78, 79 degrees. Instead, we're going to have your house at 62, right? And again, as long as your pipes are not freezing, so under 32 degrees, then you should be okay. That's kind of what we're getting at now. And again, that's what's very troubling with this is I warned you guys this before. And this is not a warning that, it's going to happen again, like be prepared. This is actually the first time that Xcel Energy has actually done this to customers and overridden their systems. And this is the first time in, I think, like 6 years. But again, just think about that. For over 2 hours, 22,000 customers were stuck with their AC units not running or not running much, okay? Because they were trying to conserve energy. And the reason why they were actually trying to conserve energy, because they called this energy emergency, is simply because there was a power outage in Pueblo, Colorado. That was really the only reason why, okay? Now I want to explain something, because this isn't something that many customers even knew about. And I talked about this 3 months ago, like 3 or 4 months ago, that this could potentially happen. Now, one person reached out to me, and the reason I'm making this video today on September 3rd is because I had to reach out to this person again, okay? I had to reach out to this community member because she said that she is in this, or her energy company does have this program. However, she is not in it, okay? She did not opt for it. Well, I reached out to her again to make sure that she wasn't one of the 22,000 customers. Guess what? She was. She was one of the 22,000 customers that couldn't actually access or adjust their thermostat. And she said that no, she thought she opted out, However, in the small fine print, that no, she technically did opt in. Okay, and so that's the thing is, I guess, according to her, and again, I haven't done a lot of research on this because obviously I can't get a contract from this company, but I don't live in Colorado. But here's the thing: she said that in the fine print, and if somebody else out there is part of this, let me know. But she said that you actually have to opt out of the program, that everybody's opted in. Okay, let me know if that's something different. Okay, but that's what she said, that at the time when she did this, when she changed her energy bills or whatever, that she was supposed to opt out, not opt in. She thought she was opted out already, but no, company automatically puts them in. How interesting is that, right? So again, that's kind of what's happening. But the reason why this must be stopped, and again, I'm not gonna dive into all that right now, okay? But the reason why this must be stopped is because we are seeing the federal government really push electric vehicles, right? But what happens if we are told that we can only drive our electric vehicle before 11 p.m.? Anything after 11 p.m., it's bad news. No, you cannot drive past 11 p.m. Or what if they say, no, you cannot drive your car more than 300 miles per month, and so it has to sit there in your parking garage or your garage, and it's just sitting there doing nothing, but yet you're still paying for it. Or, and this is something that I've seen movies on this before, what if the government blocks entrance of your vehicle into a certain part of your city? For example, let's say you are not a wealthy individual, yet you have a smart car. Can you go drive it into the wealthier neighborhoods? Maybe you can. Or what if the government's like, you know what are you really doing there? We're just going to block you. You cannot enter that part of the city. And so as soon as you reach that cutoff point, your car is just going to turn you around, especially if it has full self-driving, right? And that's just with electric vehicles. But how many of you have a smart water heater? If you have a smart water heater, let me know down in the comment section below. And no, I'm not going to try to access it. But could the government come in and adjust the temperature on your water heater? Could they shut off your water heater during scheduled periods in peak times? Potentially. Again, if all this stuff is connected to the internet and Wi-Fi, it's just hacking into the system. And then here's another thing. And I have one of these in my home, okay, is what if you have, and like many of us, have a home security system? If you're like most people, you can access your home security system from your smartphone. You can hold up your phone, it's like, oh, I see somebody just rang my doorbell. Okay, I look in the backyard, oh, the kids are playing in the backyard. Or I even have some inside my home as well, in the garage and near entrances and on all the windows. Could the government just be like, yeah, I'm curious what's happening in that neighborhood. And so they decide, you know what, let's access the cameras. Let's see what's happening. Again, it's government overreach. We could see all these things happen, and if we are not careful, they will. Now, I'm not saying that what happened with XL Energy is something that's going to be something that's going to be consistent and we're going to see it all the time. But again, it only has to happen once. Only has to happen once. Once it happens, and now people are like, oh, that wasn't too bad, right? I wasn't even home. I don't really care, right? I was at work. No big deal. It's like it wasn't even cold for me, or it wasn't even hot for me. So 78, I was perfectly fine with that. Well, guess what? Now they could probably be like, well, we only had complaints from, let's say 5,000 people out of the 22,000. So numbers aren't too bad. Maybe we can adjust it a little bit more. Right? We can push the limits a little further. That's kind of what we're seeing. All right. So again, this must be stopped because I can tell you right now, and let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Would you allow an energy company or the government to come in and adjust your thermostat or access your cameras that you pay for? Would you let the government come in and adjust your smart water heater, right? Or maybe they come in and say, you know what? You've been driving your car a little too much. We're going to actually limit you. You get, let's say 50 less miles this month. Or maybe they track the movement of your car and they tax you based off of how much you've driven, right? So people that pay for gas, obviously you pay a gas tax. People that pay for electric vehicles, you don't really have that. So again, we're gonna see what happens, but I think what just happened this past week, I think that's gonna set some stuff in motion. So again, as always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back and share all the latest news and updates. Again, just wanna thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.